Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. I'm going to try and make this video as quick as possible. I am under a huge time strain to get this video out, so unfortunately I'm not going to have like updated combos and stuff. I'm just literally going to have examples. And yeah, before we get into it, if you learned something new from this video or you like the video in general, please drop a like on the video. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I'm guaranteed to answer you within the 24 hours. And of course, we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers in 2025. We're currently at 600, and thank you to everybody who's subscribed so far, and thank you to in advance to the people that press subscribe on the video or any future video. Now let's talk about the first move, which is called Wind Bomb Squall. Now, as you know, when you press back, down, forward, fall, you get the Wind Bomb, right? Now, this main reason on why you would use Wind Bomb Squall is it's this Wind Bomb input, and then it's the same input again once the Wind Bomb is on the playing field. Now, keep in mind that the Wind Bomb only stays on the field for a certain amount of time, and then if you input it again, right, you're just going to get a Wind Bomb again. So if you don't input it in time, you're not going to get that effect that sends it forward towards the opponent. Now, just to make it super obvious, right, this sends it towards the opponent. I'll even do one closer to me. Right, so it does travel full screen towards the opponent, but you do have a time constraint in terms of using it. Now, what's the best way of using this move? Quite frankly, you would use a base kit setup, or you would use a cameo setup. Now, usually more you'd use a cameo setup with a cameo that can give you more time to do things. I'm using Cyrax as an example, but he's not the only cameo that can do this. Off the top of my head, there's Darius, Janet Cage, I'm pretty sure, and a few others that can suspend the opponent in the air for a long time. So, for example, if I was to use Wind Bomb Squall setup, right? Right, I drop it here, and then you bring the Wind Bomb towards you. Now, it's very important to keep in mind that wherever the Wind Bomb is, the further away the Wind Bomb is set up from the opponent, the more plus it will be when you use it. See how it's plus 30 from full screen? But if I use it right in front of her, right, and then use it, it's -7, right? So it's actually punishable. So you got to be careful at the distance you want to use it. So when you use it in a combo or setup, for example, you would roughly want to use it as far away from the opponent as possible, right? Now, when you use it, you can activate. Obviously, I missed the timing there. As you can see, I'm +8 off the Wind Bomb. Now, you might be saying, well, what if the opponent decides to armor me? Now, let's say we use a single hitting attack and a string that can be armored, of course. So this is great for armor baits and all that sort of thing. So let's say Melina decides to wake up through our armor this time. As you can see, she gets launched no matter what. Now, in that instance, I did take damage, but if the Wind Bomb was closer to her, there'd be no way for her to get around it. Right, and then we launch her again, and we do the combo. You get the point. So yeah, even the way you want to use the Wind Bomb setup in the Squall, for example, is you want to use it after moves where you do have gaps in your string, like after back 2 there's a gap, right? So let's just put it on all now. So we know back 2 4 has an armorable gap, right? But if we use Wind Bomb instead, she just gets launched, right? So that's basically the main way you want to use this Wind Bomb setup. You also use it after back 3, of course, right? This can be armored, and there's a few other strings as well, like 2 4. So that's basically how you use the Wind Bomb Squall. You can also use this in the corner the exact same way I just told you to in the mid screen. Okay, so Kitana also has another new move, which is called a reverse fan toss. Now, as you know, Kitana has a fan toss in the air, right? So you see she has a fan toss in the air. You can do it as many times as you like, pretty much. And you can do more importantly, you can do an instant air fan, right? Let's take her off this. So you can do an instant air fan just like this, right? But now you also have a reverse fan that goes on the opposite side of the screen and comes behind the opponent. It goes behind you, then behind the opponent, right? You can also do an instant air version of this. And as you can see, it will literally hit the opponent every single time as long as you can do the correct inputs in the amount of time. Notice how when I hit her with an instant air fan, I am plus 18. Now, even if I was super close to the opponent, it's still plus 18. And this is on the verge of doing a new setup. So let's talk about how to do this real quick. Like I said, I'm going to give you guys examples, and then I'll just have to come back from your holidays and do the whole thing for you guys. Now, as you can see, I've just swapped to Johnny Cage here just because Melina has a very specific armored that literally ducks under the opponent. So if you were to do this setup, you would literally do your regular wind bomb, and then you time it with your cameo, obviously, because they hold them in the air for quite a while. You time the wind bomb and then your reverse fan, and then no matter what the opponent does, if they decide to block on wake up, you will be plus and you'll be guaranteed your turn, right? And as you can see, when the opponent decides to block on wake up, you have a plus 18 advantage in which you can poke him all the way from basically here with a 15 frame mid. And if you're a lot closer, you could use a forward 1, of course, and there's not much the opponent could do about it. And of course, if you're nice and close, you could mix up a forward 1 or a front throw, right? With Cyrex, you get a full combo as well, which is, you know, another reason to use Cyrex. Now, let's say the opponent decides to Armour wake up this time, right? What does that look like? As you can see, the opponent just gets launched again. So this makes you literally plus on Okies, in which your opponent literally can't do anything. And if they decide to Armour wake up, they die. If they decide to jump, they die. Yeah, and using the reverse fan in your combo is actually the recommended combo now after your wind bomb, which literally perfectly complements your setup, because you're doing wind bomb into reverse fan as the combo anyway, and then because they get launched, you're doing the most optimal combo possible. Yeah, and it's ridiculous. So, and then you do back to 4 like you saw, and I'll just do it one more time. Right, and you could do something like that. You could also do 1-1, jump on 1-2, which would do the most damage. But you guys get the point. It's literally a situation. That's an OS. You literally cannot stuff it up. Now let's talk about one more move that got added to Kitana in recent times. Now I'm going to explain this really quickly. This one's not going to take long, and it's Phantos can now be enhanced. If you were a Kitana player, you know that Phantos, literally all you could do was this before, and that was literally it. Now, the normal Phantos does this, right, when you enhance it on the ground, but the air Phantos can now be enhanced as well, so you're not just stuck into doing this. You can also use a meter burn, and it launches the opponent. Similarly, if you were to use the reverse version, as you can see, it literally launches the opponent. It doesn't launch them very high like your wind bomb, for example, right? Wind Bomb launches them really high into the ground, and so does like your Tornado. So it's a situation where you want to use that mid combo, and then you want to save your big Tornado for last, because Tornado launches them really high into the air, which literally lets you get the most amount of damage possible. So if you already use it in a combo, using all 3 launches, by the way, which you can do now, this is what it would look like. Let's say he decides to jump on Wake Up, for example. You can see that's 42.6% off 1 bar, which with Kitana, this was not possible before. Like, it was really difficult to get this type of damage without, like, you know, doing some crazy setup. But now, even if they get hit by a launcher 3 times, right, you can get jump 112 at the end, and it's 42.6%, which is a lot of damage, right? And needless to say, that combos are going to change. Like I said, I'm going to do them when I get back from holidays, because I literally don't have enough time. But hitting this in mid combo now is the most preferred way of getting your damage. So let's say you were mid screen, for example, and you launched the opponent, right? You can now do something like that for 1 bar. Instead, where before you had to do this, right? You had to do this type of thing, and it was like a lot less damage. You usually, when you use a 1 bar combo, you use down back 3 meter burn. But now, as long as you can hit the opponent in the air, which is, you know, Kitana's whole shtick pretty much, you can literally do a meter burn fan toss, and it does exceptionally more damage now. It's, even if you were to use like it like this, for example, as you can see, you're doing 42.2%, whereas doing the old 1 bar combo was doing this. You can see you're only getting 37.8, whereas now you're getting infinitely more damage with the enhanced fan toss. As you can see, it's 42.2% compared to 37.8. There's literally no comparison. So combos are going to change with Kitana, and she's getting some decent damage now, which is really nice. Which makes up for the fact that you have now 2 setups, but they're not giving you as much guaranteed value as the unblockable setups used to, which was like, which you could loop the opponent infinitely with before, and now you can't do that because they changed the way it works, and not even because of how Kitana works, because of how Cyrax worked with her unblockable stuff. So yeah, that, I know that's quite a lot, but I try to jam pack that into as short a time as possible, because there's a lot to go through with Kitana buffs. Remember, she got a Wind Bomb Squall, which you use for the mid screen and to bait armor. You have the reverse fan toss, which is for setups in the corner now, which either leave you plus or break armor or launches the opponent, and there's no in between, right? And then if you're plus off that setup, you can do a strike throw mix up, and the opponent literally has to guess. And if you're playing a cameo like Cyrax, you're going to get a combo no matter what. So yeah, and then of course the enhanced fan toss and the reverse enhanced fan toss, they do a lot more damage than the old combos ever did. So definitely muck around with that for the next 2 weeks, because unfortunately I'm just not going to be here. But when I come back, I guarantee you I'll have all the basically optimal combos again for you guys. And then I might have to do an updated one on Cyrax, because Cyrax is one of the better cameos for Kitana. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be it, guys. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please, if you do, if you did, please drop a like on the video. It's been spreading my content throughout YouTube. And please, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. I'm happy to answer you within 24 hours. I might be a little bit slow since I'm on holidays, and you know, internet connection isn't everywhere since I'm overseas. But I will try and answer you guys as fast as possible within the next 2-3 weeks-ish. And then yeah, please subscribe to the channel. Even though I'm not going to be here, the live streams are not going to happen for the next 2-3 weeks because obviously I'm not home, but videos are coming out weekly for you guys. So don't worry, the content is not ceasing while I'm away. The content is all pre-uploaded for you guys to have a video at least weekly, and then when I come back, obviously I'll continue making YouTube stuff. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, that was pretty much it. Thank God Kitana got some buffs in this patch. It's really nice, and yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. See yous.